As we move deeper into the college football offseason and Tennessee continues to try and ascend towards championship contention, there is one thing that Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel has never done since he was hired as the head coach of the Vols. Hey, Lucas Panzica here from 104.5 The Zone and A to Z Sports. Josh Heupel was hired as the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers 4 years ago, January of 2021. Since that point, Heupel has not fired a member of his coaching staff. Now, that might be hard to believe with all the assistant coaching turnover that we see across college football. And that's not to say there hasn't been change in turnover with Heupel's coaching staff, because there certainly has. When you look at multiple moves like offensive coordinator Alex Golesh taking the head coaching job at USF, wide receivers coach Cody Burns taking the same position with the New Orleans Saints, former running backs coach Jerry Mack moving up to the NFL for the same position with the Jacksonville Jaguars. There has been plenty of turnover, but 100% of it has been outgoing. And Heupel, largely to replace those roles, has hired from within, with a few exceptions of making outside hires. Now, that's not to say that this is a bad thing. That's not to say that there's a particular coach on Tennessee staff at the moment that needs to be fired. That is simply to point that out as something Heupel has not done yet in his time as a head coach, and you wonder if he's asking himself, as Tennessee tries to ascend to that next level, if there is a certain position group that has fallen below Tennessee's standards and he needs to make a change in order to elevate it. Those are the questions that you ask yourself throughout the course of an offseason. And look, coaching staff continuity is a good thing. Coaches across the country struggle with this, but you wonder if it's something Josh Heupel is examining throughout the course of the offseason. There could certainly be turnover amongst this Tennessee coaching staff. In fact, there are 3 assistant coaches whose contracts will officially be up with the Vols on January 31st. They are defensive coordinator Tim Banks, special teams coordinator and outside linebackers coach Mike Eckler, and defensive backs coach Willie Martinez. Now, Tim Banks reportedly has had a contract extension offered to him for some time now. Will he take it? That's the big question. What kind of offers will Tim Banks be fielding in this offseason is another thing that we do not know. Only the offseason, after he orchestrated one of the better Tennessee defenses that we have seen in many years. 12.6 points per game allowed. That's the best scoring defense Tennessee has had since the 1998 national championship season. So what other programs come calling for these coaches certainly will have an impact, and whether or not they decide to stay or Heupel decides to keep them will impact what kind of turnover, if any, we see on this coaching staff. But just something to monitor throughout the course of the offseason as Tennessee looks to continue to jump up to the level they want to be at. Will Josh Heupel make any changes himself on his coaching staff? That remains to be seen.